So we're here with Dr. Jason Pape today, and we're here to learn about LipoLight. And I'm very curious to hear what this technology is, because I've read on the internet, on your website, that you can actually lose inches without all kinds of lasers and surgery and things like that.
Yes, well, LipoLight really is a non-invasive, non-surgical way to help shed inches. So what the light pads will do, uses a certain wavelength of light that will penetrate deep into the tissues and which will cause your fat cells to actually shrink. So if you imagine that your fat cells are kind of like a grape that's nice and full, the light actually will stimulate those cells to open a pore and then let out their contents, and they kind of shrivel up like a raisin. So if you have a lot of those grapes shriveling up like raisins, inches come off. So, and we have actually 16 pads. So we can put this in a lot of different areas, anywhere in the body, without any side effects, and we actually will lose inches. Sometimes as little as one session.
That's amazing. Now, what happens to the skin if those fat cells shrivel up? Is your skin all uneven?
No, if anything, the skin actually will smooth out more, and actually can tighten up loose skin as well. Cellulite is kind of like that little bumps in the pits, and what happens is if you take a taut, almost imagine a pantyhose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice tight, and if you stick a bunch of oranges in there, you'll have these kind of undulations in there. Now if you took all the oranges out, it kind of smooths out. And that's what happens with cellulite, is that there's like pockets of fat, and then the areas where the fat really isn't as thick, it kind of has those little divots. So if we shrink everything, it kind of will flatten it out, and cellulite will actually diminish as well.
That's amazing. Now, do people lose weight when they lose these
You will
inches?
lose some weight with this, but it's not really a weight loss machine so much as an inch loss. Okay, the contents of the cell, while they are expelling from the cell itself, are not as heavy as the cell. The membrane of the cell is where most of this fat cell's weight is. They say you lose about a pound per inch of fat. So you may lose a couple pounds, but it's not a weight loss machine per se.
Okay.
So we always do recommend a weight, doing weight management with this as well, because it's not going to basically make you, 20, 30 pounds lighter, but it can take those inches down and shape and sculpt what people are really looking for.
That's great. So, say I'm someone who's postmenopausal,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got those little love handles that are annoying me, and I just can't seem to get rid of them, and I'm exercising, and I have a healthy diet, and I spend time in relaxation, I have healthy relationships, but those last love handles just won't come off. Can this technology help me?
This definitely can help deal with that, and that's what a lot of my patients do, is that one or two little areas that just aren't coming down, no matter how much they exercise, no matter how much they diet, how much water they drink, they just can't get the body to let go of those certain fat stores. And in general, exercise is never really good for spot fat loss reduction. This is really the only thing I've ever seen that does spot fat loss reduction, where it actually will take those inches down. Now again, there are other techniques out there that can do something similar, but they're not necessarily as safe, if you will. There are things like cavi-lipo and things like that that actually destroy the cell, but then you have to worry about healing and bruising, and sometimes they're painful, and they're not usually covering as much areas. That's the nice thing about the LipoLight, is it actually uses certain wavelengths of light that are non-painful. I don't have to cut you open, I don't laser hole through you, I don't burn the fat cells off, and we actually shrink those cells. And it is a form of detox. So it's not just about taking inches off, it's about cleaning up the body as well. A lot of toxins are stored in fat cells, okay? And if we're going to expel the contents of the fat cell, we're technically detoxifying the body. So a lot of times other detoxification things you might do along with this can make this even better results. So a cleaner, healthier diet always helps. Drinking lots and lots of water is very important. But things like more alkaline-based foods and drinks, detox, some people do 10 and 20 day detoxes. Sometimes people even do a little 3 to 5 mini detoxes we offer.
So you can stay on your same supplement regime, your same
there's no
diet,
changes there, yeah.
healthy diet. Right now, who would you say this is not indicated for?
If you're very heavy and you expect this to take off, knock you down to from a size 12 to a size 2, it's probably not going to give you what you're looking for.
Okay.
You need more work in that. But there's really no contraindications with this.
Okay.
Because it is really just light.
But it's not as if people can just go and pig out, and go drinking beer and stuff, and then come in here and say, okay, take it away.
Unfortunately, things like caffeine, alcohol, high sodium, high fat, high carbs, it will not make this as effective. And you can still lose, and everyone's a little bit different that way. But if you're really eating things that are forcing your body to hold on to toxins and water, it also doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't help. So a lot of times we're drinking a lot of water because drinking a lot of water helps you lose water. I know people think that's kind of strange to hear that, but I'm sure you know these things.
Well, most of us are dehydrated,
Right.
so I think drinking water is good, but drinking too much water is not.
And again, with this, we're taking toxins out of the cells, and the solution to pollution is dilution. So your body wants to dilute
Did you get that?
all those toxins. So it's important to drink a lot of water to flush the toxins out, because your body's going to want to dilute it on its own, and if you're not drinking any more water, it's going to hold on to water, and you might bloat a little bit. Sometimes people do bloat after a treatment, but then if we increase the water, they'll really take inches off, because stuff's coming out.
That's great. So will you walk me through exactly what someone would experience when they come
Yep.
to the office and they say, okay, we're going to get some LipoLight
Right.
now.
Well,
let's see what it's about.
The first thing we do, we sit down and we talk. I want them to understand what the machine's about, and again, explain to them, like we said before, this is not a weight loss so much as an inch loss machine. So if someone says, I really want to lose 50 pounds, LipoLight is not going to take 50 pounds off. It can help with some of the trouble areas in the sculpting aspect, and it's a nice thing and as an adjunct, but I'll explain to them that we need to do some kind of diet modification sometimes as well. Talk to them about how the LipoLight works, kind of like just how we did. Go over some of the other things that can help support it, like the detox services that we also offer, like infrared sauna and detox foot baths, and just eating a little cleaner diet. And then when we do before we do our first treatment, we measure.
Okay.
So whatever areas we're going to work on, we're going to measure. So it could be your waist, could be your thigh, could be your arm, could be around your neck, wherever it may be, chest, whatever area we want to work on.
Oh no, don't put them here.
No. This part up here.
Okay.
So whatever areas we want to work on, we'll measure, because we want to make sure that we're making an appreciable change.
Yes.
And we'll measure pre and post treatment, and then as we go. And a lot of times we'd like to also take a picture to do a before and after for patients as well. If someone doesn't want to do that, we don't force it on them.
Okay.
We don't put them on the internet and not on Facebook like that. Then the treatment becomes, well, we come in after we've done our measurements. We'll actually take these pads and we'll place them wherever we need. Now, we don't overlap the pads. We actually will try to keep a little bit of space between them, because even though this pad only covers, it's a nice sized pad as you can see, we're still actually going to be shedding the contents of fat cells up to about 1 inch to 2 inches around the site of this. So it will cover a large area, even more larger area than we're actually doing.
Okay.
And when it's on the patient, we'll use some straps we have over in a basket over there to hold them on. Sometimes through clothing, whatever it may be, underclothing I should say. No one has to get naked or anything like that. And we do have women with us to help with the women, and men to help with the men if it's the kind of thing where someone wants to worry about modesty. And then we'll put the pads in, and basically they'll sit on this nice chair for 20 minutes. The most they'll feel with these pads is some warmth, maybe a little bit of heat.
Sure.
Because there is the bulbs do generate a little bit of ambient heat, but it's not, nothing's burning you, nothing's melting you. And after the 20 minutes is up, we do something on called the vibration plate or the shake plate. So it's a machine that actually will vibrate and move things. Because what's happening is all this stuff's coming out of the cells. We have to get rid of that stuff. So that goes into our lymph, and our lymph channels don't have a lot of pressure behind them, so they always line against muscle. So every time you move or contract or do exercise, it forces the lymph to move out of the body. So what I tell patients sometimes is that, imagine we take a dirty, wet sponge, and if I squeeze out the dirty, wet sponge in a bucket of water, if I put the sponge back in and let go of the sponge, it's going to suck up the dirty water again. So, but I want to move the bucket and dump the water, and then I can put the sponge in, it's not going to suck anything back up. Same thing here with the LipoLight. We want to take the stuff out of the cells, but we don't want the cells to resorb that stuff. We want to get it out.
Wow.
So the
Never
motion
thought of that.
and activity, so exercise really afterwards can be much more effective for helping the stuff move out of the body. But we do about 10 minutes on the shake plate. It's very light exercise. If we're doing lower body or waist, or we'll have someone do light squatting on it, because the shaking of it will move stuff as well as the light contraction. We have some upper body stuff we can do too. It's not a heavy workout or anything like that by any means. No one's getting worked up with sweat.
Right.
But we do recommend, if you're going to do exercises on that same day, sometimes come here first and then go do your cardio, because it just makes it more effective.
Oh wow, that's great information.
Yeah. So you're here, the treatment itself is 20 minutes with the LipoLight, 10 minutes on the vibration plate, and with a few minutes of setup, you probably hear about 40 minutes, maybe less.
That's great.
In
And
and out.
if people wanted to come in, what is your contact information?
So to contact us, you can call the office at 631-864-2784 or 631-664-2781. You can find us on the web at vitalitycenterli.com. That's vitalitycenterli.com. Or even email us at info@vitalitycenterli.com. So there's any ways you can find us.
That's great. Okay, well we're gonna get started then. All right, so I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna see if I see a difference in my waistline and my hips and my belly. So again, I'm living a healthy lifestyle, but I just want to get this little bit of excess fat pad off of me. So Sarah's going to start out by measuring me. So go at it. She's doing it in centimeters, so I don't feel that fat.
And one more. These are the top, sorry. Or we just did the bottom.
No, I need all mostly over here.
Okay. So we'll go down.
I got at least 3 inches of jeans on me.
Okay. Measuring some.
All right, and now we're going to put on the LipoLight pads.
So we'll start and open up angles. We get the first two
Okay. Where do I put this down?
right here. You're gonna put one right here. And then I'll start working around you.
I'm glad these are going to get warm. They're a little cold right now. So far it's painless.
Yeah, a little too tight.
And I purposely wore my loose pants. Pop the button. No, 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 no.
And then I'm gonna put this around you first.
Mhm. Okay, I'm all ready.
So you have a seat.
I'm all ready.
Alright.
See, so you got these red lights. Painless. Now I just sit here and relax for 20 minutes. I am on this vibrating machine, getting all the toxins loosened up and into my lymphatic system. And then when I'm done, I'm gonna have a big green vegetable juice and flush away all those toxins that were in my fat cells.